The Vivo V series has always been about blending sleek design with strong camera capabilities. And one thing's for sure, the new Vivo V70 retains that formula while bringing some key upgrades here and there. It's got an updated look, a stronger build, along with the usuals like the Zeiss optics, solid battery life, and efficient performance. But does keeping the same formula still work for the Vivo V70 this time around? I'm your host Earl, and let's find out in this review. Right off the bat, the updated design is the most obvious change, and I'd say that's an improvement. Coming from the V60 with a curved edge design, the V70 has a boxier look. It has a flat frame, which is now made of aluminum by the way, along with a flat display. To me, this is a nice design change, as it makes it look and feel more premium in hand. The oval-shaped camera deco that has been used for years is finally gone, and now replaced by a square-shaped island. It feels like the material used here is metal and it protrudes quite a bit. No complaints there, it's honestly a welcome design change. Another change is the smaller size. From having a 6.77-inch display on the V60, the new V70 has a 6.59-inch screen diagonally, adding a slightly more comfortable grip. Our unit is in the golden hour colorway, and you've guessed it. The back panel shows this gradient-like iridescent effect that dynamically shifts colors depending on how the light hits it. It can go from purple to yellow and to mostly pink if you were to see it in person. Now for extra protection, the V70 is both IP68 and 69 rating that provide protection against ingress of dust and even prolonged submersion underwater. There's also a free transparent jelly case in the box for extra peace of mind. For I/Os, the power button and the volume rocker are found on the right side while there's nothing on the left. The top has a mic, the IR blaster, and one of the stereo speakers. And at the bottom, there's a SIM tray USB-C, another mic, and the other loudspeaker. Design-wise, I think I appreciated all the changes Vivo made here. They finally got rid of that similar and identical look they used over the years and opted for a fresher look, and I personally like that. Moving on to the display. Like I said earlier, the V70 now features a smaller 6.59-inch AMOLED display with 1.5K resolution and 120Hz of refresh rate. It has fairly thin bezels, and I'm glad to see it looks uniform on all sides. In daily use, its display is easily one of the main highlights of the phone. Text and images looks crisp, and the AMOLED screen provides those vibrant colors and deep blacks we expect. The high refresh rate also makes scrolling through social media and switching between apps feel smooth. I have never experienced any lag, and I like how consistent the V70 in this regard, especially if you're someone who doom scrolls a lot. During my time with the phone, watching content is an enjoyable experience, especially with a loud soundstage. It can easily fill up a small room. While the highs and mid sounds nice and clear, the bass lacks a bit punch to my liking. That's where the V70 falls short, but audio loudness can make up for it. Not to mention, the stereo audio makes the watching experience a bit more immersive. For biometric security, the Vivo V70 handles both face and fingerprint unlock, the latter of which is now using an ultrasonic sensor. Now, that might seem small of an upgrade compared to the optical sensor from the V60, it registers my fingerprint faster and more reliably. It even works with a damp finger, so it's truly a nice upgrade. We all know that the Vivo V series' focus has always been photography, and the Zeiss collaboration is here to stay, which is a good thing. The Vivo V70 carries a quad camera setup co-engineered with Zeiss. From the back, there are the 50-megapixel main shooter with OIS, a 50-megapixel telephoto also with OIS, and an 8-megapixel ultra-wide lens. Up front, there's a 50-megapixel selfie snapper with autofocus. Daylight shot provides sharp, detailed, near-accurate colors and good dynamic range. The Zeiss tuning makes the images look more natural, although in most shots, the colors lean more toward warmer tones. Even at night or in low light, the main sensor still does a good job at preserving detail and nice colors. And if there's no light source at all, the so-called aura light is actually useful in this situation. Portraits looks nice as well. Thanks to the telephoto camera with 3x optical zoom, focal lengths such as 85mm and 100mm are possible to do with the Vivo V70. We tried these ourselves, and as you can see in these sample shots, the details still look decently sharp even when the subject is far. It technically can reach up to a maximum of 100x digital zoom, but expect the output won't be as sharp as those taken at 3x or up to 10x zoom. Meanwhile, the ultra-wide camera does a decent job, although it won't quite match the level of detail from the main sensor or telephoto lenses. Still, it comes handy for landscapes or group shots. For selfies, I like how every shot turned out well, providing good clarity and fairly accurate skin color and texture. By default, it can shoot at 1 times zoom, but then it automatically adjusts to 0.8 times zoom when it detects 2 or more people in the shot. As for video recording, the V70 can finally record 4K at 60 frames per second. And the best part? That's possible using both the rear and front cameras. So that's quite an improvement from the V60, which was capped at 4K at 30 frames per second. One thing I noticed though is that these 4K at 60 frames per second videos are somehow shaky even if Vivo says it has OIS support. There are the standard and ultra stabilization in the camera settings that you can toggle before recording to help stabilize the footage. However, if you're gonna enable ultra stabilization, the resolution will be limited to 1080p at 30 frames per second. In addition, Vivo has included an AI audio noise eraser, which reduces background noise in videos so voices remain clearer in recordings. It's not perfect at getting rid of the noise, but it will mostly be useful for vlogging or capturing clips in busy environment. And for even more freedom at tweaking your photos, there are a bunch of AI tools available in the Albums app, including AI Erase, AI Image Expander, and AI Enhancement. These let you remove clutter, reposition subjects, and further enhance clarity without needing third-party apps.
So peeps, early figure tech. Right now we're using the front-facing camera of the Vivo V70 and it's shooting at 4K at 60 frames per second. So this is the sample video of it and that's it.
Under the hood, the V70 is equipped with a Snapdragon 7 Gen 4 chipset, and our unit comes with 8GB of RAM and 256GB of internal storage. There's a memory extension feature that adds another 8GB RAM, and it's enabled by default, so that's something to know of. Looking at our benchmark results, the V70 achieved an Antutu score of over 1.4 million with version 11. We also tested it with version 10 and it got a result of over 1.1 million. That's a tad bit higher than the V60 with a 100,000 point difference. And that's mainly because they're using the same chipset. The improvements it got is probably due to a more superior software, Origin OS 6. And we'll talk more about it in a sec, so there's that. If you're interested in the numbers flashing the rest of the benchmark scores right here. In real-world use, the phone performs well with smooth multitasking and gaming. Titles like Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves are playable given that you set the graphics settings to medium and 60 frames per second. Meanwhile, less demanding games like Mobile Legends and PUBG Mobile run smoothly at high graphics settings, even at 120 frames per second. Thermal management is also quite good on the V70. There was a slight heat up during gameplay, but not to a point that's alarmingly hot. Perhaps this is because of the large cooling system that helps keep the device cool enough even during long playthroughs or demanding tasks like video editing. Sure, the Snapdragon 7 Gen 4 is a carryover from the previous iterations, and it would have been better off with something like the Snapdragon 8s Gen 4. There's a probably good reason why Vivo decided to retain this chip. Despite the fact it remains capable enough to handle your daily tasks smoothly. Stuff like messaging, browsing the web or social media, and using productivity apps did not slow down the phone or whatnot. Another thing to talk about is that shiny new Android skin. The Vivo V70 is now shipped with Origin OS 6 on top of Android 16 out of the box. As compared to FunTouch OS, it offers tons more customization features, smoother animations, and even a nicer UI design. From the lock screen to home screen and to the icons, everything has been updated. I even like this Pop Mart theme available here on the lock screen, which is apparently an exclusive for the Vivo V70. There are still some bloatware apps pre-installed, but as always, they can be easily removed. As for its update policy, Vivo is promising up to 4 major OS upgrades and 6 years of security patches for the Vivo V70. Battery life is another strong point of the Vivo V70. It still carries a 6,500 mAh unit, and hold your horses, I know what you're thinking. It retained the same battery capacity. What's so special about it? Here's the thing. If we were to compare the battery life results between the V70 and its predecessor, the newer model passed 27 hours and 35 minutes of runtime, which is significantly longer than the V60's 22 hours and 6 minutes. And like I mentioned earlier, the new Origin OS 6 might just be a key factor here. With that kind of result, it shows the Vivo V70 has a more optimized software. But I digress. Going back to the battery life, the phone can easily last a couple of days on a single charge with typical use. If the battery runs low, the 90-watt charging support can get the device from 0 to 100% in just about an hour. Plus, it has bypass charging support for those wondering. Connectivity-wise, the Vivo V70 supports dual nano SIM with 5G, dual band Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.4, NFC, and IR blaster. Unfortunately, it still doesn't have an eSIM support, which can be a real bummer considering its upper mid-range pricing, which we'll talk about next. The Vivo V70 starts at 31,999 pesos for the 8GB plus 256GB model. And it jumps to 39,999 pesos for the 12GB plus 512GB config. That said, here's what I think about the Vivo V70. In its own right, the V70 delivers a balanced experience that emphasizes design, great cameras, and battery life. Its Zeiss optics with telephoto capabilities and an efficient battery life are clear highlights that make it stand out in its class. However, the price might be hard to justify for what it offers. Not to mention, the chipset is technically a carryover from its predecessor, and the other improvements experience-wise were incremental to say the least. Still, for users who prioritize photography, battery endurance, and subjectively stylish design, the V70 checks out. Say, you're coming from the Vivo V60, an upgrade anytime soon won't be necessary. But if you have been using an older Vivo phone, or if you're coming from other Android brands, then the Vivo V70 presents itself nicely. And that's about it. What do you think about the Vivo V70? We'd love to hear thoughts in the comments below. If you find this one helpful and informative, please give this a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to follow us on our socials and visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Again, this is Earl and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!